right. I'll open the meeting. Ask you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
The record reflects that it is not take a knee.
Okay, excellent. Boy.
Did you folks sign in?
I signed in over there.
Okay, I'll just bring the roster to you.
All right, that's good. All right, I will start with a roll call. Patrice Scott is here. Butch Cushing
Present.
is here. Howard Burnham
Present.
is here. Freeman Plummer is excused. Omer Ahern,
Junior, present.
Omer C. Ahern Jr. is present. And our alternate was excused. All right, so first thing I'd like to say is, Mr. Nizetic, you do have a choice of having a full board, which is 5. So if you would want to continue the meeting or go ahead.
Now, for 3 for your quorum, right?
Right, you just need 3 for a quorum, and unfortunately our alternate, we waved him off before the other person told us he couldn't be here.
Whether it's understandable.
Yeah, okay, well, thank you. So now we'll look at the minutes, adopting of the minutes from our last meeting. I went through them, I didn't see any problems. Did anybody find any corrections? I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented. Seconded.
Okay, and Butch seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
And Omer, you're abstaining,
I'm
right?
abstaining, yes, Madam Chairman.
Because he wasn't here. Okay. All right, so the minutes are presented as drafted. All right, now we have our public hearing, case 108-105, variance request, dated January 3rd, 2017, request for variance relief from Article 4, Section 408.5, permitted signs. It's an increase in display area on a business sign at 66 Highland Street. All right, I would welcome our applicant and his representative. Would you like to speak to the board?
Yes, please. Hi.
Hi there.
My name is Rick Hammer,
Okay.
and I represent the client who I think everybody knows here is Gabriel Mazzetti. And I am a sign maker, so I don't do very well public speaking, so I might trip here and there.
That's okay.
I have gone to quite a few variances. I understand the process and what's necessary, but in this case here, the sign code, which is, I guess, section 408.5, which is permitted signs for specific areas and sizes, is the reason for being here. We have a existing sign that is so small it is very, very hard to read, and so we're trying to see if we can enlarge that just a little bit bigger to be able to be more legible driving up and down the road. I took a look and surveyed the surrounding area, and it appears that there is other signs. Direct to butter right next door, there's a sign, and I think there's a copy in your file of that sign. It's a 4-foot by 6-foot sign, and so we're looking for a 2-foot by 3-foot sign, half that size.
There isn't, but I have one.
Talk about the dentist's office, correct?
Yeah, that's curl up and die, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's still up and down, actually.
Well, then I guess I have 2 others. At the last minute I took photos of. There's a dentist that's exactly right across the street that's about a 4 by 8, and then there's the hospital sign that's on the angle, and I can pass those by here, but I don't know, I thought I had included the one that was the direct to butter, which
You did. I
think
just
it's
didn't
the
happen to
salon.
put it in
What
there.
is it? name of it?
Curl up and die.
Curl Up and Die.
No, but I'll attest to that, it is oversized.
Not a big deal. I think I just wanted to show the fact that we're not trying to put a sign in a residential area, even though the area looks more residential, but from what I understand, it's the corridor of business here in the town of Plymouth, and so to try to keep it very nice as far as the looks and the colors and so on, we thought that a black sign with white letters, or it could be black with gold leaf. We haven't determined the exact color yet, but it's not going to be a bright color, blue, red, yellows, things like that. So we're hoping that that fits in with the area in professional, and just across the street in the hospital. And we're looking for just relief in the size, because signs are permitted, but it's so small, it is very, very hard to read. And so it's a hard thing for me to show here, other than there are some photographs of the sign there that you can look and see if you can read it. I don't think it's very good, but changing the color is going to help a little bit as far as maybe the reverse. And we tried to meet I think we used the 5 criteria. If you want me to go through that, I can do that if you have any questions right now.
I think we can go through the criteria, but does anybody on the board have any questions? Mr. Hammer?
Is it going to be on the same post that the current sign's on right now? It'll be on the same post that the current sign is on correctly?
Yes.
I agree that
There's an existing pole that's
sign is
there.
very small. When it's there.
And the pole's arm comes out 3 feet. And so we thought, let's not make it longer than the pole. That might look a little funny. So we're coming out on the existing pole just to the edge and end of the pole.
But it meets the height, so it's.
The height is 6 feet, or it's according to the town code already, and we don't intend on going any higher than what is there. It's not going to be illuminated, it's non-illuminated, and it's no neon, nothing that would be of concern, I think, for the area where it's in.
Will it be lit?
It has existing lights that shine on it from the back of the pole.
Not interior illumination.
Right.
It's going to be made out of a good material, too. I think that's a concern that signs today are made from materials that aren't going to deteriorate down the road and start looking shabby, and then, that is a hard thing to regulate, to go around and tell people, why don't you fix your sign up. I have a sample here that, if you would like to just look at it, it's a new product in the past 5 years called PVC. They make fences out of it, they're making moldings, and now in the sign industry, it's a totally impervious material. It won't peel or check or deteriorate, so that's what we intend on using. We're going to take 2 of those, and we're going to put them back to back and sandwich a piece of metal inside the sign that attaches to the pole, because there's been a problem with people hitting the sign. That's one of the reasons Gabe has taken this new sign into consideration, is that he wants a sign that's not going to fall apart when the kids whack it and throw snowballs at it and stuff.
Right. Have you considered, Gabe, is it going to be detachable?
No, because
getting stolen, because I know a lot of.
right, that's why it's not going to be detachable, because it's already been stolen twice, and it's not going to happen again. Yeah.
Right, all of our screws are screws that you need special tools to take
Okay,
the
good.
bolts apart.
'Cause that's a big concern. People spend a lot of money on nice signs and then they get stolen.
And one day we are going to find the D&M sign, but probably not today.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, does anyone have any questions? All right. All right, then I would open the public hearing to see, and noticing we have no members of the public present, to ask if anybody would like to voice an objection to the application, or if anybody had any neutral comments, but we have nobody present this evening, and we can just note that there's nobody here to object.
Do you want to know a little bit about a history of what we've done and why we've done?
Sure.
We bought the building in 2000 from Dr. Craig, who had retired. We then went and spent, phase one, we spent about $25,000 to $30,000 upgrading the building because all the electrics were non-operable, there was no telecommunications in it, the driveway was falling apart, the trees were falling apart, and most of the interior didn't work. Since that time, we've replaced every single door, every single window, the roof, the chimney, all the electrics inside, all the wiring inside, the floors, the walls, the carpeting, the...
Nice old house.
Yeah, we basically renovated the building from the top to bottom. We've also done all the landscaping, expanded the parking area, repaved the parking area, fixed all the potholes, took out all the bushes so that you could actually see when you get out so you don't crash. And basically, you know, try to keep the building not looking like a piece of junk like it had been prior to that. When the sign was originally there, it was a little wooden sign that had Dr. Craig's moniker on it. We just put in what we had to at that point in time. But since that time, the post, which originally was wood, has been vandalized at least 3 times. They just smashed it in half. The sign's been stolen twice. It's been vandalized 3 or 4 times. So this is actually, the one that's on there now, I think, is either the 4th or the 5th sign that we've had up there. When the last time they broke the pole, the police haven't been able to find anybody or hold anybody accountable for it. So last time they broke the pole, I said, that's it, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I had a client of mine who's a metal worker fabricate the current framework that's on there. It's made out of 3/8 inch steel, same stuff that holds up the lights on the highway. I'm going to pass that. Yeah, it holds up the lights on the highway, so they're not going to break it. They dug a footer in it. We brought it back about 8 inches so that it wouldn't be so visible or so tempting off the sidewalk. And they bolted it in with 4 1-inch bolts. And the current sign is held in with 2 pieces of 1-inch rebar, so they can't steal it. Okay, and that kept them at bay for a while. Now, as you can see, it's kind of falling apart, so it's time to replace the thing. We looked around at the other signs. This particular sign we think is consistent with what's already down in the downtown area because we want to have kind of like a consistency with markings around the town. It's smaller than Wendy Wolfson's, which is the curl up and die next door, substantially smaller. It's smaller than the hospital sign. It's smaller than the sign across the street that has Plymouth General Dentistry, which is a backlit sign. It's smaller than the one where Doug McLean's place is up there, the professional center. It's smaller than Babbitt and Scalzo law offices. So it's smaller in dimensions than every other sign because we don't, I mean, we're a law office, we're not running a gentleman's club or anything like that. So we're trying to keep a professional appearance. The problem we were having is people couldn't find the place, and when they saw the sign, it was too late, they pulled into Wendy Wolfson's driveway. And they would turn around, and then she would get aggravated, and then, you know. So we're trying to get it so that you can see it as you come up over the hill past the fire station, so you can pull into the driveway instead of missing it and going by. And I'm also, like Rick said, in consultation with him, I told him I didn't want to have to replace it again in another year because they've stolen it and broken it, ripped it in half, damaged it, spray painted it, whatever. So I'm trying to keep within the character of the neighborhood without going too hog wild, trying to keep the place looking neat, professional, not a piece of junk. And I'm trying to keep with the nature and character not only of the neighborhood, but of the downtown area as well. There are 2 lights. We used to have 2 outrigger lights. They broke those. So I went and I got some cast aluminum housings. We bolted them on the sign with 3/8 inch bolts, 4 of them, so they couldn't steal those. And we put all the tubing in there, bolted all that in so they couldn't steal that as well. So we try to make the sign durable but not ugly. We try to make the sign reliable but not, overbearing for the character of what's going on in the neighborhood. So we're just trying to get it so it's visible but not blightly.
Right, well, I think it's a very tasteful design. So, all right, I'm going to close the public hearing then, and ask the board if we should make some findings.
Permitted use.
I'm sorry?
It's permitted use.
It's a permitted use, okay, in this single-family zone.
Right, there's nobody here to
Yeah.
speak against it.
No one opposed. Sign improves visibility.
It was definitely going to improve safety. I mean, I drive by there all the time. I keep wondering whether there's going to be a new sign there. And
Safety.
I guess I applaud your over. I just had that word.
Tenacity?
No, and not enthusiasm. I just hope that all of this metal and all this other PVPC will indeed defer and deter miscreants from doing more further harm to your optimism. That's what it is. I applaud your abundance of optimism in thinking what you're thinking. And, we probably would be doing you a favor by denying this so that we don't, but no, I'm just
Maybe
thinking.
we should put a condition that has to be electrified.
The only thing you can try next is electrify.
This is going to be a much safer situation.
Yeah.
Again, it's a much safer situation for that, so I applaud you for doing that, Counselor.
Okay.
Next.
Yeah. So we said sign improves visibility and safety of patrons. We have
signs in the area.
Oh, yeah, other signs, surrounding signs
So it's keeping in the character of the neighborhood.
are all larger on abutting properties. Sharon, I just had a question about that when I was reading through the application too. Are those all permitted signs? The larger ones?
Well, I
They're
didn't check,
grandfathered, I
but
think. I think they're all
they're either
grandfathered.
grandfathered. We would have picked up
Yeah.
on that. They've
Okay.
been there as long as I've been here, and that's 7 years.
Yeah.
so I'm
Yeah,
sure
well, I'm
it's
just
come to light.
wondering
They've all been there.
if maybe
Yeah.
we should, consider again for the next town meeting, whether this is too small, 3 square feet. Because when you look at his original sign, it really is not very visible.
His original sign was undersized, I believe, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Your
It was,
littler?
it was 1.5, it was 18 inches by 24.
Right, that was the maximum that was allowed.
Yeah.
Oh, at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's
According to
increased.
this- See, according to this, our chart, Sharon, it says 3 square feet.
Yeah, I don't know where that came.
Okay,
It
so-
would be a good idea to revise your sign.
Yeah, I'm just
code.
saying that
It
the
is.
one sign, when in this little box, maximum display
I don't
per
know where that
side.
came from, because, dimensionally, I kept trying to figure out some math on that.
Yeah.
It's got to be
That's gotta
so many
be-
half feet or something, so.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, well,
So it was 1.5 feet, here, I wrote it down somewhere.
well,
but-
maybe, yeah.
Anyway, I'm
Yeah,
saying for our
for-
review later, maybe we should look at that so people don't have to get a variance. If all the signs around there, which I don't find any of them outrageous, right? But
No,
that's something we can look into.
6, yeah.
Yeah. 6 square
it-
feet is,
It's not bad.
that's the aggregate.
No,
size.
aggregate, that's one
Maximum
side.
aggregate display area is 6 square feet on the chart. So I'm just saying maybe we should look at that.
No, well,
But anyway,
That was rezoned. It used to be, that particular corridor used to be open for business. It was then rezoned to residential, but there were a lot of non-conforming uses at that time.
is that the history of it? Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be, the dentist place before that was another dentist, and prior to that was Sprague Funeral Homes.
Yeah, it
The
was
sign
a
that was there was
funeral.
actually larger, and it was much bigger and bigger backlit. When Dr. Kirshner bought it, they cut the sign down because they felt it was just too gaudy looking. So they actually made that sign smaller. They also replaced the sign down, I think the address is 79A, where McLean had his office, John Boyle, and a couple of other places over there. That sign had been there for a long time after they condoized all those units there. Another sign that was on Highland Street was Carl's Market, which has since been torn down.
Right.
Then you've got Bentwood's Place at the corner of the high school, and that sign had been there for at least 30 years as well. And then there are no other businesses until you hit, the Agway.
And the antique place, yeah.
Now R.J. Crowley's, part of that was Hitchner Manufacturing, and the Shop and Save Plaza.
Yeah, so that's why it's so
Change,
very
a lot of
along the road.
grandfathering, or previously.
Okay, well, I'm just saying for the future, we can think about that if we think there's really not any.
Yeah,
kind of,
we're,
stability
maybe
there.
for next year, we're already too
at
deep
that.
into the amendment process. Right now, our public hearing is Thursday for changes for this year, but
okay. All
we'd
right.
certainly look to that next year.
All right, well, let's go down we have our findings of fact. Shall we go down our criteria?
Yes.
Number 1, granting the variance will not diminish the value of surrounding properties.
True.
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 Okay, it's unanimous. The variance will not be contrary to the public interest.
True.
That's true.
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 Okay. The denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship to the applicant upon proof that A, the zoning restriction as applied to the applicant's property interferes with the applicant's reasonable use of the property, considering the unique setting of the property in its environment.
True.
I have to say false on that one.
True.
True.
All right, I can't get
I
over
think you
that one.
disagree with
Gabe will
the
understand.
language.
Just can't get over that one for variances. Okay, 2 by 1. B, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general purposes of the zoning ordinance and the specific restriction on the property.
True.
Okay, I'll say true.
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 Okay. And C, the variance would not injure the public or private rights of others.
True.
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 Okay, that's unanimous. Number 4, granting the variance would do substantial justice.
True.
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 And number 5, the use will not be contrary to the spirit and intent of the ordinance.
True.
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 Make a motion that we approve the variance as presented.
Second.
Okay, one more second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, there you have it.
Okay.
You have a nice new sign. Good
luck.
You can hang on to it.
You'll get a notice of decision, 5 business days, so it's part of next week. And make sure you get a sign permit from Brian, the building inspector. Oh, enforcement,
good.
yeah. You're good to go after that.
All right.
Is it necessary to wait 30 days, do you think, or we take it upon
For what?
ourselves?
Oh, no, it's your prerogative. It's just he can't proceed till he gets the notice of decision. The statutory timeframe for that is 5 days, so I'll crank that out. You'll get copies, and it's all good to go.
Sign last that long. See, I was,
That's great.
We'll make sure it does.
All right,
I'm gonna put some snazzy 6s on it too. So.
excellent. Well, can I ask Mr. Hammer, are you from Hammer and Sons?
Yes.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for all the signs you've made for many people in the state.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You make
Yes.
very nice signs.
I didn't go on about myself, but I've been in the business my whole life.
Right.
And I
Well,
retired up here in the lake, over in Rumney.
Oh, nice. I
I
wondered.
still do sales. My wife and my son still work at the business. I came down with diabetes and had a problem that forced me to semi-retire, but
All right.
I'm, quite capable of doing everything that I used to, other than more of the manual.
Right.
And I'm an artist and architectural designer, and yeah, we did the Panther restaurant in town here.
Yeah, well, you've
Letters
made
to
many
a few
signs
others that,
for many people, many political campaigns, right?
quite a few, yeah.
Yeah.
Presidencies and
Yep.
congressmen, senators, a lot of
That's right.
political signs.
Say he's a prolific sign maker
Since
throughout the
My
state.
dad started the business in '55,
Uh-huh.
so that's how long we've been around.
Great. Well, Gabe, you got a nice sign.
Did you use this guy for your election?
I know. I know. Hello,
I honestly don't get out enough.
hello. Well, thank you for coming this evening and
Remember, thank you.
for your presentation. Good luck, Gabe.
Yeah, good luck.
So do we have any unfinished business?
No, ma'am.
All right, any new business?
No,
All right, communications.
no.
Make a motion that we adjourn the meeting?
Okay,
Second.
second. Butch, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank
On the
you.
ball, those
Thank
motions,
you
huh?
all for coming. You
Pardon me?
are.
Ball in those emotions.